Prince was 17 years old, a high school student with a secret passion. While his friends were busy playing video games or talking about sports, Prince was drawn to something else: music. From a young age, he had a deep love for playing the guitar. He would often sneak into his room after school and strum his guitar, creating melodies that only he would hear. It was his escape, his safe place, where he could express emotions that he didn't know how to say with words. But despite his love for music, Prince kept it hidden. He was shy and self-conscious. He worried that people might laugh at him. After all, how could a kid from his small town ever make it as a musician? There were no famous artists here, no music industry connections, and certainly no opportunities for a boy like him to shine. The world of music seemed too big, too far out of reach. So Prince kept his passion to himself. He played in the privacy of his room, writing songs and playing cover tunes, but he never let anyone hear them. Every time he thought about sharing his music, a voice in his head would whisper, "You're not good enough. People will think you're a joke." But that passion, the love for music, never left him. It burned in his heart every day. Prince dreamed of performing on stage, of having people hear his music, of sharing the songs he poured his soul into. But every time he thought about taking the leap, the fear of failure held him back. Then one day, everything changed. It was a Friday evening, and Prince was at the local coffee shop with some friends. They were chatting when one of his friends, Jake, asked if anyone wanted to get up and sing for a talent show that was coming up at school. Jake wasn't serious. He was just joking around. But Prince felt something stir inside him. For a moment, he pictured himself up on that stage, guitar in hand, playing his original songs for everyone to hear. The idea of it terrified him, but there was also something thrilling about it. That night, Prince couldn't sleep. He tossed and turned, his mind racing with thoughts of performing. Should he do it? Was he brave enough? Could he actually face his fear and let others see the real him, the part of him he had kept hidden for so long? The next day, Prince walked into school feeling nervous but determined. He signed up for the talent show. The weeks leading up to the show were a whirlwind of practice and self-doubt. He worried that he wasn't good enough, that people would judge him or make fun of him. His hands would shake when he held his guitar, and he had to force himself to keep going, even when the fear seemed overwhelming. He practiced every day, sometimes until late at night, convinced that if he just put in the work, he might be able to pull it off. Finally, the night of the talent show arrived. Prince could barely eat dinner. His stomach was in knots. He put on his best outfit, grabbed his guitar, and walked to the stage. The crowd was larger than he expected, and as he walked up to the microphone, his heart pounded in his chest. What if they didn't like it? What if they laughed? But then he thought about all the hours he'd spent playing, writing, and dreaming. He thought about how his passion had been waiting for him to have the courage to act. And he realized that this was the moment. This was his chance to show the world who he really was. Prince took a deep breath and began to play. His fingers strummed the chords, and his voice filled the room. At first, he was nervous, his voice a little shaky. But as the song went on, he began to lose himself in the music. His passion took over, and for the first time, he wasn't worried about what anyone thought. He was just in the moment, pouring his heart out through his guitar. When he finished, there was a moment of silence. Prince's heart raced in his chest, and he braced himself for judgment. But then, the room erupted in applause. His classmates were clapping, cheering, and even some of the teachers were giving him nods of approval. Prince stood there, wide-eyed, his heart swelling with emotion. He had done it. He had faced his fear, and it had been worth it. The performance didn't make him a star overnight, but something much more valuable happened that night. Prince discovered that the world didn't reject him. The people who mattered, his friends, his peers, his teachers, saw the real him. They saw his courage, they saw his passion, And in that moment, Prince realized that all along, his passion had been waiting for him to find the courage to step forward. From that night on, Prince continued to pursue music. He started playing in local venues, writing more songs, and sharing his music with anyone who would listen. The fear didn't completely disappear, but he learned how to move through it. And over time, it became easier to trust his passion and have the courage to follow it. Prince's story teaches us that our passions are always there, waiting for us to embrace them. But too often, we hold ourselves back because of fear or self-doubt. The truth is, your passion is waiting for you to take that first step, to gather the courage to face your fears and go after what you truly love. So remember, like Prince, your passion is ready for you. All it's waiting for is your courage to catch up. Don't let fear hold you back. Take the leap. Your dreams are closer than you think.